All right, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Executive Action, 1973. I'm giving it 3 out of 5 stars. Thought it was all right. It's a 1973 U.S. conspiracy thriller film directed by David Miller about the assassination of U.S. President John F. Kennedy, written by Dalton Trumbo. We know all Dalton Trumbo. He was a blacklisted writer. Oscar-winning screenwriter, blacklisted Oscar-winning screenwriter who refused to admit that he was a communist. To the Joe McCarthy House Un-American Activities Committee. He's known for Roman Holiday, Spartacus, and Johnny Got His Gun. I forgot to mention those when I did the Johnny Got His Gun movie review. He was also involved in FTA, a movie that I absolutely hated. I think his last writing credit was the TV movie Ishi, The Last of His Tribe. I actually had a college professor who was very much interested in the Ishi, The Last of His Tribe book because it's part of California history. I think it might have been my California history teacher who was interested in that. Written by Dalton Trumbo, it is based on the novel The Same Name by Mark Lane and Donald Freed. It stars Burt, Lancaster, and Robert Ryan. Miller had previously worked with Trumbo on his film Lonely Are the Brave, 1962, which I have not seen. A narrator states that when asked about the Kennedy assassination, the Warren Commission report, U.S. President Lyndon B. Johnson said that he doubted the commission's findings. The narration ends by mentioning that the segment did not run on television, and it was cut from a program about Johnson at his own request. What the movie doesn't go on to mention is that Johnson's mistress accused him of orchestrating the entire assassination. Another glaring omission in this one is that Jack Ruby's psychiatrist was a stooge for the CIA. They go into some statistics about some of the material witnesses. 16 out of 18 died of unnatural causes within 3 years of the assassination. What they did mention is that the odds of lone gunmen shooting the president and then another lone gunman shooting the killer of the president, also a lone gunman, the odds of that are incredible. It's more likely to get struck by lightning, as Tucker Carlson says in the link that I shared in the description. I'm thinking Oliver Stone's JFK might be more accurate because Dalton Trumbo kind of makes up the story about the white male swine of a capitalist pig being responsible for the Kennedy assassination. There's no evidence of that, although they did use former DA Jim Garrison's investigator Steve Jaff as the film's technical consultant and supervising producer. Jim Garrison is kind of a shady character, though. I don't know. he tried to investigate the JFK assassination, and the jury unanimously acquitted the guy that he was trying to go after. Some businessman dude, kind of similar to this movie, but not really. Anyway, a narrator states that when asked about I mentioned that already. I started into the plot and I forgot. Okay. At a gathering in June 1963, shadowy industrial, political, and U.S. intelligence figures discussed their growing dissatisfaction with the Kennedy administration. In the plush home of lead conspirator Robert Foster, he and the others tried to persuade Harold Ferguson, powerful oil magnate dressed in white, to block their plans for Kennedy's assassination. Harold Ferguson is played by the William Geer, blacklisted dude. I think he was good friends with Woodrow Guthrie, another communist. Fellow conspirator James Farrington, a black ops specialist, labels this as executive action. He shows the group that magnicide is indeed a viable option. He refers to the Lincoln, Garfield, and McKinley assassinations as examples, as well as unsuccessful attempts, including against Franklin Roosevelt in 1933. He explains these attempts were carried out by alleged lone fanatics. Later scenes show the grooming process unwittingly undergone by Lee Harvey Oswald to fulfill precisely that role in the present conspiracy. Of course, the government kept saying for years there was no conspiracy. I tend to believe that my personal opinion, it's not a fact, but it's my opinion, is that LBJ and the CIA were involved. Now, there's more evidence about the CIA being involved, just because they've been reluctant to release information about the CIA involvement, the extent of it, and who the conspirators were actually. But the assertion that LBJ was involved by LBJ's mistress is just hearsay. It's not factual. So it could be true or it could not be true. I'm more leaning towards the CIA angle now that new facts have come about thanks to Tucker Carlson. But anyways, getting back to the movie, Ferguson remains unconvinced. That's the white male swine of a capitalist pig played by a communist actor, saying such schemes are only tolerable when necessary and only permissible when they work. Obtaining his approval is crucial to the conspirators, although Farrington proceeds to organize two shooting teams in anticipation that Ferguson will change his mind. One of the teams is shown during practice in the Mojave Desert shooting moving targets at medium to long range. One of the shooters says that he can only guarantee the operation's success if he fires at a target moving below 15 miles per hour. After one of their meetings, Foster and Farrington discussed their murky, paranoid films about the future of the country under Kennedy and the security of ruling class white people across the globe. This is a part that I didn't like. The Dalton Trumbo historical revisionism. He didn't know who the conspirators were, so he just guessed that they were white nationalists. They both seem privy to plans known to the CIA that Ferguson, a civilian, is perhaps unaware of. Foster forecasts the world population in 2000 at 7 billion, most of whom non-white and swarming out of their breeding grounds into Europe and North America. This is kind of ironic because communists believe more in population control. Just look at how many people were murdered on communism in the 20th century, over 100 million. Compared to Nazi Germany, which was 20 million. So, yeah. That's Dalton Trumbo's personal bias shining through. He sees victory in Vietnam as an opportunity to control the developing world and reduce its population to 550 million. That's quite a significant reduction. That's like 6.5 billion reduction. Ominously adding, I know, I've seen the data. He also states that the same methods can be applied to unwanted groups in the United States, Asian blacks, Latinos, poor whites, etc. So he's not necessarily a white nationalist. He doesn't like poor whites either. He's an equal opportunity offender. He's just a human depopulation advocate who says, oh, by the way, these dark-colored people will be gone too. Ferguson watches news reports and becomes highly concerned at Kennedy's increasingly liberal direction, whatever that means. Action on civil rights, adoption of a nuclear test ban treaty, and nuclear disarmament. The decisive moment comes in an anti-Kennedy news report on deteriorating situation in South Vietnam. It is followed by Kennedy's October 1963 decision, National Security Action Memorandum number 263, to withdraw all U.S. advisors from Vietnam by the end of 1965. I'm not sure how that affects the escalation of Vietnam if the troops are still there. But that's just me. Anyways, effectively ending Americans' direct involvement in the Vietnam War. That's a stretch. I don't believe that. The U.S. always wanted to be in the Vietnam War. And in fact, JFK started engaging troops in Vietnam early in his presidency. Ferguson calls Foster and tells him he now supports the project. The scene of the shooting is described as news of the assassination reaches the conspirators. The film surveys its effects. The shooters leave Dallas, and the conspirators work to cover up the evidence. Farrington and his assistant Tim discuss the inconvenience of Oswald's survival. Tim approaches nightclub owner Jack Ruby, who stalks and kills Oswald. The plotters discuss the political fallout of Washington, D.C., concerned about retribution from Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy and the believability of the plot. Foster states that Bobby Kennedy is not thinking as Attorney General, but as a grieving brother. By the time he recovers, it will be too late. The conspirators agree that people will believe in this story because they want to. Soon after, Foster receives a call from Farrington's assistant. Farrington had died of a heart attack at Parkland Hospital. The conspirators are now insulated from the link to the group that committed the killings. That's pretty much the movie. I'll show you the I like the premise of the movie, the beginning and the end, but I didn't like the middle part. So I'm giving it 3 out of 5 stars. Anyways, it got mixed reviews, this one. Donald Sullivan was credited as having conceived of the film. Another familiar face from MASH and FTA. The film is available online. Here's Conan the Destroyer. Got that one in the mail yesterday from Netflix. A little earlier than expected. So I'm going to try to do that one today. Because I got my favorite energy drink from Amazon finally today, this morning. But the bottles are shot size. I'll show you the bottles. I'll be right back. This is the size of the bottle. It barely fits in my hand, the shot size. And I paid $15 for 6 of these. I think I got 10 of the larger ones from Amazon for like $35 plus tax, maybe $39 total. Anyways, I guess I'll go through my list now. I talked enough about executive action. Not a great flick, but could have been better, I think. I have not seen JFK of the Oliver Stone film, but I'm guessing that it's better. Might be a little bit more believable. Okay. Here I go with my list. You Bet Your Life, I'm on episode 86 out of 126. I've been going real slow. At the rate I'm going, I might not finish until next month. I said I was going to finish this month, but I keep procrastinating. I took my energy drink for the first time this morning. So that's good news. Maybe I can catch up a little bit, get up to 90 or so. I don't feel like taking a nap right now after going off the energy drink for a couple of days. All right. After You Bet Your Life is Identity Unknown, 1945. Chained for Life, 1952. Untamed Woman, 1952. Texas, Brooklyn, and Heaven, 1948. Beast from Haunted Cave, 1959. Moon of the Wolf, 1972. Hurricane Smith, 1992. Showdown, 1993. Best of the Best 2. TNT, 1997. My Dear Secretary, 1948. The Mystery Man, 1935. Bride of the Gorilla, 1951. Letter of Introduction, 1938. Dick Tracy versus the Mole, seasons 1, episodes 9 through 12. Devil's Island, 1939. Angel Town, 1990. Mercenary, 1996. Night Fright, 1967. DEFCON 4, 1985. Santa Fe Trail, 1940. Renegade Girl, 1946. Passport for a Corpse, 1962. Black Dragons, 1942. Cyborg Cop 2. Drums of the Desert, 1940. Shock, 1946. It Lives by Night. Train to Tombstone, 1950. Deputy Marshal, 1949. Broadway Limited, 1941. The Strange Woman, 1946. The Fighter, 1952. Bamboo Gods and Iron Men, 1974. Zero Tolerance. Ulterior Motives, 1992. The Big Chance, 1933. I'll See You in Hell, 1960. Letter of Introduction, 1938. Hostile Country, 1950. Three Desperate Men, 1951. The Star Packer, 1934. The Devil's Hand, 1961. My Outlaw Brother, 1951. Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. Talons of the Eagle. Riders of the Whistling Pines, 1949. Portraits of Terror, The Final Curtain. Safe and Effective. A Second Opinion, 2022. Malibu Crush, 2022. Dead Tides, 1996. Easy Money, 1936. Swing High, Swing Low, 1937. An Eye for an Eye. The Real Anthony Fauci, 2022. Return to the Batcaves, The Misadventures of Adam and Burt. The Giant Gila Monster, 1959. Shadows on the Stairs, 1941. The Bigamist, 1953. The Unholy Four, 1954. Triple Cross, 1966. Hold Me While I'm Naked, 1966. Head, 1968. 1990. The Bronx Warriors, 1982. Exterminators of the Year 3000, 1983. Platoon Leader, Penny Serenade, 1941. Creature from the Haunted Sea, 1961. War of the Satellites, 1958. The Black Raven, 1943. He Walked by Night, 1948. They Were So Young, 1954. Whatever It Takes, 1998. One Dark Night, 1982. Cipher Bureau, 1938. Sinners in Paradise, 1938. What Price Crime, 1935. Maytime in Mayfair, 1949. He Walked by Night, 1948. The Strange Love of Martha Ivers, 1946. The Wrong Road, 1937. Tarzan the Fearless, 1933. Monstrosity, 1963. Diamond Trail, 1933. Sinful Cargo, 1936. Youth on Parole, 1937. I'll Name the Murderer, 1936. The Chase, 1946. Impact, 1949. A Stranger in Town, 1943. Half a Sinner, 1940. The Devil's Hand, 1961. Captured in Chinatown, 1935. Rimfire, 1949. Deputy Marshal, 1949. Tales of Robin Hood, 1951. The Magic Sword, 1962. Bandit Queen, 1950. Crooked River, 1950. Marshal of El Dorado, 1950. Colorado Ranger, 1950. Wild Weed, 1949. Strangers of the Evening, 1932. Renegade. Devil's Partner, 1961. Fist of Glory, 1991. Night of Horror, 1981. Jungle Ground, 1995. Scanners 2, The New Order, 1991. Scanners 3, The Takeover, 1992. Scanner Cop 2, 1995. Great Guns, 1941. Hardy Saps at Sea. Charlie Chan, Murder Over New York. Best of the Best Four, Without Warning, 1998. Excessive Force, 1993. Don't Look in the Basement 2. The Mad Monster, 1942. And King Kong Lives, last but not least. Linda Hamilton, also known as King Kong 2. All right, so I'm up over 20 minutes. Got through my list. I showed you the Conan the Destroyer disc, and I gave you a sneak peek of what's coming down the pike next week in my earlier video. It's Coneheads and Mr. Arcaden. So that's the latest and greatest for my channel. Sorry I haven't gone through my list. I'm stuck. I'm still stuck on Professor Quiz's You Bet Your Life. playlist on YouTube. It's not his playlist, but he recommended it, so I'm watching it. Well, he recommended it. I found it on YouTube, and I'm watching what I found on YouTube. Okay, I said it correctly. All right. So hopefully my review made sense. If not, post a comment. Critical thinking is encouraged on this channel, but stupid comments are automatically deleted. So just be warned. Laters.